In today's section, we want to talk about success. What does it take to be successful? What does success look like? What does it mean to be successful? Now, we live in a world that is run by laws. The whole universe runs on principles, which means then, if you're going to be successful, then we have to understand the principles that run the world. Because the beauty of a principle is you cannot change a principle. You have to submit to a principle. And by submitting to a principle, your outcome is guaranteed. I like it when they say, break the rules but obey the law. Because rules are made by man. Anything that a man has written down, chances are you can outthink it and you can end up getting what you want. But what do you do if you try to break divine laws? And one of the laws that we're talking about here, of course, is gravity. Whether you are a 6-day child or a 6-hour child, a 6-month child, whether you're 60 years old, because you drank or because you think you are a prayer warrior, and you try to jump from the top of a building, try to jump from the top of a cliff, chances are when you fall down because of law of gravity, you're going to break your legs. Just because a baby doesn't understand how gravity works, it doesn't mean that the child is safe from the consequences of breaking the law. Now, what are the successful laws? I've been in business for a long time. At my age, I've lived for quite a big chunk of my life. But the question is, any area of my life where I'm struggling, it is because I don't understand how things work. And the fact that ignorance does not protect me from the consequences of what I don't know. Let's look at business. There has to be a principle. Let's look at the richest man in the world. At the top, we have your Elon Musk. Then you have your Bezos. You've got Mark Zuckerberg. You've got Arnold. All these people. Tell me, what is common among all these men? One thing, there's no woman there. Secondly, there's no black face there. Thirdly, there's no face from anywhere else. Majority of these people come from the United States. What is common among them? Do they have a university degree? Yes or no? What do you know them for? What businesses do they run? What is their career? Now, these are not the traditional people. None of them is an accountant. None of them is a teacher. None of them is a doctor. None of them are people that belong to the traditional career path that are among the richest people in the world. So let's look at business. If we look at business formula, then I'll say here that mindset plus skill set plus tool set equals money. Why do I put money at the end as success? Because money can be counted. You can't lie to people how much money you have. You can count your money. You can count your fitness. Your fitness can be measured. What is the mindset here? Now, when we talk about mindset here, we're talking about attitudes and belief. Attitudes and belief system. What is your attitude towards money? What is your belief system? Because until you change what you think and how you think about money, physically you keep on attracting what you are. If I look at myself, the only time I heard my parents argue was all about bills. Everything I've heard about money is that money is very hard to come by, that you have to work so hard for money, that money doesn't grow on trees, that money only looks better on other people, that for you, you have to go to school, you have to get very good grades, work hard, be stuck in a job, work hard in that job, get promoted, work for 40, 50 years, and then retire with a golden handshake. Or as they traditionally used to do it, they give you a golden watch. Now, that kind of mindset, of course, blocks me. This is something I've had to re-look at, and I have to ask myself, what do I believe about money? Do I believe that I can become rich? Do I deserve to be rich? What are the things that are driving me when I'm thinking about starting or creating an offer? Do I think that I'm worth it? Do I think that I know what I'm doing for other people to be able to see the value in it and buy it? What is your attitude towards money? What is your belief system? These are things that you have to ask yourself. Because without addressing your mindset, chances are that you're going to be a stumbling block. You have to get out of your own way for you to be able to be successful. And you have to do a proper mindset audit. What is your mindset towards wealth? Because if you don't come from a wealthy family, then the mindset here has to be that a wealthy family has to come from you. And the minute you look at it like that, then it changes. Look all around us. Most of the rich, nowadays, it was very hard traditionally to find a person that is rich that is not 50 plus. But right now I see kids that are in their 18 years, in their 20s, the multimillionaires. They don't do the traditional 9 to 5. They do currency trading. They do all these kind of things, influences. How we make money is completely changed. And in looking at that, I'm forced to completely change my approach towards money. I don't have to do a 9 to 5. I don't necessarily, just because I don't have a university degree, does not necessarily mean that I can't be rich. How many of the people that you know around you that have a university degree that are rich? In fact, most of the people that I know have a degree from a tertiary institution, most of them are struggling. They live on a 30-day cycle. That has to change. Skill set. What are you good at? Because when we're talking about skill set here, the main thing we're going to look at here is skill set stacking. Traditionally, we've been brought up to think if you are a doctor, you'll be a doctor until you die. If you're a teacher until you die. If you're a factory worker, you'll be a factory worker until you die. If you're a mechanic, you'll be a mechanic until you die. But skill set stacking totally has changed how people do things. Let's use a very easy example of somebody like Elon Musk. Elon Musk has got his hands in almost every single thing. What is he good at? That's a question you have to ask yourself. What is Elon Musk good at? He can't be good in everything else. But one thing that makes Elon Musk very good at is how good he is at selling himself, how good he is at selling his ideas to others, how good he is at convincing talent, people that are better than him. He sells them to a vision to make sure that they can see where he's taking them. He sells his vision that makes these people become part of their purpose. He changes your work into your purpose. It changes your work to become the only thing that you were born to do. What is your skill set here? And in the world we live in now, unfortunately, it will be so hard for you to make money if you cannot sell. Selling is a skill set that all of us have to have. My background here, I started with fitness. Then I had to add on nutrition. Then I had to add on marketing. And now I have to embrace AI when it comes to sales. Now, this automatically makes me more marketable than somebody that just does fitness, than somebody that just has isolated themselves just to do nutrition, somebody that is isolated themselves just to do marketing, or somebody that just does sales on its own. What is it that you need to do? What skill sets do you need to acquire for you to become the best version of yourself? Just being a doctor is good, but you can be the best doctor in the world but still be struggling to pay bills. You can be the best teacher in the world but be struggling to get employed. You can be the best mechanic, but if you have poor people skills, you will struggle. So you need to understand what are the skill set here. And one of the best skill set here is listening. You need to be very good at asking questions because your skill set is in total proportion to the value that you add to the person that you're talking to. You have to understand how to ask questions. And in asking those questions, you let people tell you what their problems are, and you position yourself as a solution. Because if you don't, then it becomes a problem. You're trying to force people to see things from your point of view. And this is where persuasion and convincing comes in when it comes to sell. When it comes to sale, it's not about convincing people to buy your product. It's not about convincing people to buy you as a service provider. It's about persuading people. It's about getting into their head by asking them questions and then tuning into the conversation they already have. And all they see is you, the solution to the problem that they need to do here. Tool set. How do you get to the marketplace? This is where technology comes in. There is no business right now that can survive without technology. Technology has made it easier for an entrepreneur. You can service so many people because it takes away all the heavy lifting. This video, I can talk to 1 million people at the same time. You can do your sales presentation from 1 to thousands in just one webinar. You can send lots of emails making one offer to thousands of people by the press of a button. And that's where technology comes in. At this point, you have to understand technology. And when we're talking about this, you have to get a software where it makes it easier for you to be able to make offers, for you to be able to generate leads, for you to be able to nurture leads, and for you to be able to close those leads. And this becomes, if you get these three things right, automatically the outcome is guaranteed. Now, this is a system. It's the same thing we use when we go to a gym. For me to get the outcome I want, I have to understand the principles of nutrition. I have to understand the principles of physiology, how my body works. And then I have to understand exercise physiology, and I need to understand how that exercise, how those exercises impact my body. Because without doing that, most of us try to go to the end without becoming or understanding the features or the principles that lead to that. So what is the success principle? How do we make more money? To make more money, the pocket cannot grow until the mind grows. You cannot earn until you learn. And technology, as that suggests, is the easiest way because we're going into a world where there'll be no employment. People are not going to get employed. It will be easier for a robot to do what 1,000 people can do. Are you going to be left behind, or are you going to update yourself? Because like anything else, got to remember, with technology, the software has to be upgraded consistently. And you as a human being, you are a biological organism, you are a biological computer. You have to upgrade yourself. You have to upgrade your mind. You have to upgrade your skills. And you have to upgrade how you work with the things around you. Because if you don't do that, sooner or later, you've seen people that have been left behind because they've refused to upgrade themselves. You've seen people that are still dressed like they're in their 70s. They still have the 80s hairstyle. People that still talk like from the 60s movies. People that are still dancing twist in this age and era. What that means is this person has refused to upgrade themselves. His biological software has been left behind because the environment is progressed and he's been left behind. Don't be that guy. Take care and talk to you soon.